So to bring up the material editor, you either press this button right here, or you could just press M. You may have noticed by now I'm a shortcut guy as far as access to information, access to functions. I like the shortcut because it's the less mouse clicks, the better. All right, so we have all these standard materials, and we don't want any of those. We want to focus here on the mental ray materials, and the those are maps. So this is the interface, and it takes a second for all these nodes to render. If that's taking too long for you, you can turn that off by disabling global rendering. I'm going to keep it on. All right, so to create a material, you can do it sort of a number of ways, but I guess the easy way is just to grab an arch and design material, which is an architectural material, mental ray architectural material, arch and design, and arc, whatever. So now we have it in our slate view, and if we double click it, it's going to bring up all the properties here on the in the right hand panel. We can name it, we can adjust some settings, the reflectivity, the refraction, transparency, all that stuff. I mean, there's lots and lots of options here. Really, we want to focus on our pipe being shiny and fairly reflective, but not, not like a mirrored surface, because that starts looking pretty weird and fake. So, so to apply a material to an object, I would simply select an object or a group of objects. In this case, this object is a number of objects. And I'm going to change from realistic to shaded here just so we can see it a little bit better. Or maybe I can go into realistic and then press F4 to turn on wireframe. And that way I will have a better idea of what I actually have selected. You could also select your object, right click and say isolate selection. And so that will isolate everything that is selected. And if you just have that object selected, come over here to your architectural material, arch and design material, and press this assign material to selection button. Yay! Alright, so now we can see that our pipe has materials. And if I turn off the wireframe, you can see that it has a little sheen to it, and it's looking pretty darn good. Alright, so if I were to render that out, let's see how that looks after it autosaves. There we go. Alright, it's a good start. It's a good start. But it's I feel like it's missing something, like pipes. Alright, so let's see, what is this called here? Here's another one that is on layer 0. Call errand warning, find out what the heck in the world is going on. So we have PFG, okay, FG. So now I want basically I want all the pipe to be the same material, or maybe I want one pipe to be one material, another pipe to be another material. So how am I going to select all of these without picking on one, the other, you know what I mean? Because that's going to take forever. So if I select this pipe and I say, okay, this is FG2, so I'm starting to see a pattern here. I press H to select from scene, or I go edit, select by name, and I say, all right, show me everything FG. Just select everything FG. That was a lot of stuff. And then if I right click and I isolate that, I say, now it's starting to make sense. All right, so I want everything to be that material. But that's a lie, right? Because I don't really want maybe the tanks or the vessels, the equipment, to be that color. Maybe I want those to be another color. So now we need to start organizing. So I have that material, and I'm going to say this is FG. And if you hold shift, grab this material up here and just hold shift, grab the material, drag it across. It will make a copy of that material, and we'll say FG equip. All right, and then we're going to change the color of this material to, what do you think? Blue. I don't know if I like blue, but all right. Hey, it's your model. And I don't really like that color blue, so we're going to adjust the blueness of it. Yeah, we're getting there. It's close. Very close. I want it to be more bluey. We're getting less bluey. There. Oh, we're right in there now. Right in there. That's what I like. Okay. So, take that and just apply it to the tanks, and that, yeah, does not look as good as you thought it was going to look, does it? So we can make that white. We could also change properties, and when you change the property of a material, obviously it will update the scene. So if I were to render this out right now, we see that it's you know, not looking bad. We can see some reflections off of the equipment. You know, real-time, physically accurate reflections are happening, which is good. Maybe a little bit too reflective, like we don't want that mirrored surface effect. So what we can do with our pipes now is we can double-click on the FG, and we can come over here to templates. And the template I like a lot to use for pipes is this brushed metal. So you're going to click it, and you're going to see it's going to create this reflection map coming off of the reflection color map. Just, you know, just go with it. It's cool. It's totally cool. But I want the equipment now to, I want the reflectivity to be a little bit lower. Or if not that, then I want the glossiness to be a lot lower. So I'm going to change the glossiness to 0.25, so it's not a mirror-like reflection that's happening. So let's render that. Oh yeah, the pipe's looking nice. It's a nice looking pipe right there. And all right. So you can see that the reflections off the pipe are very scattered and diffused, which is a nice look, I think. And we're getting some nice looking reflections here. So the thing is, the more reflections and all that you use, the longer it's going to take to render. You can see just this little bit took, as you can see, this little bit took 32 seconds. Not a long time, but you know, when you put up to the scale of the whole model, it's going to be a lot. So just keep that in mind when you're applying materials to objects. All right, so we're going to end the isolate, and then we just need to go through and apply materials like we just did to all of the objects. And the most efficient way to do that is by selecting in bulk like objects. So for example, a handrail. I clicked on this handrail, click on this handrail, and then I have to go through and I have to find all the handrail. It's going to take forever. And then I'm going to get fired and probably lose my house, which will suck. So to keep my house, I just type handrail, and it's going to select all the handrails. Press M to bring up my material editor again. Shift drag and say handrail. And handrail, we want to be some kind of a safety safety yellow. So come over here, and it's kind of like that. Actually, it's really close to like that. We can, play with it a little bit, and say the glossiness. I'm not really crazy about 0.25, so we'll say 0.4 to give it a little bit of a little bit more light reflection, shininess, if you will. Okay, so that's cool. And then the steel, we'll go through and say, all right, that's beam. So give me everything that has beam. I think you probably have the point by now. And then what color do we want the steel to be? And this is kind of, this is the fun part where you just get to define what all this stuff looks like. We could do white, we could do whatever color you like. The stairs will probably want to be that way, so yep, you guessed it. We're going to select stairs, and then we're going to isolate to make sure that we just have the stairs selected, and those will be this steel color too. They could also be the handrail. Obviously, however you want to do it, it's your baby. And isolate. All right. And so now, but we need to do all of the objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of pause the video now and go through and add materials to all the objects, which I'm not going to lie to you, it doesn't take a short time to do. So you have to create your materials and then blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to pause the video and do that. And when we next meet, we'll have materials on all the objects.